you were president of the United States, and you had your country divided, where some of the states said, we no longer want to be part of the United States. We want to start our own separate country, at least have our own separate authority, and we decided we want to split off from the United States. And in addition, this new country is going to have slavery. We're going to continue slavery in that country. And you're president of the United States, and they decide to go away and leave you in Washington, D.C., and they start shooting at you, saying, we're going to start our own separate country. That was what Abraham Lincoln faced. And he had to decide whether to fight a war to stop these states from creating their own country and splitting off from the United States and making slavery part of what they were. And he decided it was worth a war to keep the United States together as one nation and to stop slavery. More Americans died in that Civil War between 1861 and 1865 than in any war that America's ever fought, because we were killing one another at that point. And there were brothers against brothers, and the fight went on for years and years. And at the end of it, a lot of people died, a lot of people were maimed and suffered, but at the end of it, the United States emerged as one nation again. The Confederacy, the Southerners, were defeated. And we came back together as one nation, and we eliminated slavery. So was that a just war?
Anybody? No?
So those who are saying no would say better that they leave and start their own nation and have slavery? How many believe that was how many people think that was a good that would have been a good outcome, to avoid war and just have two different nations, and one with slaves and one without slaves?
No.
Who thinks that's a good outcome? See, that's when you get down to many wars, it comes down to hard choices like that. How many of you remember where you were on 9/11?
I was in kindergarten.
You were in school?
They were in kindergarten. That's sad.
Well,
That makes me feel old.
first grade. But do you remember that day? You remember that day? And the planes crashed into the World Trade Center? You saw what happened? The two buildings collapsed. 3,000 people died. And we knew who did it. It was a group called Al-Qaeda. Terrorists. And they said, we're going to keep doing it. And we knew where they were living. And we knew where they were training. And it was in a place called Afghanistan. And we said, now what are we going to do? Are we going to say, please don't do that again? Or are we going to go after it? Go after it. We started a war.
Senator, we just talked about how that was an emotional response and how that was definitely something that hit at the heart. And so we also mentioned a little bit about when we go into World War II and the attack on Pearl Harbor, and how we're fortunate not to have wars fought on our land since the Civil War, except those two attacks. And so these kids wouldn't know what it would be like day to day to live in Iraq or Afghanistan and take that daily chance of having
I don't know
a bomb.
But my job, I do a lot of things. I was a congressman before, and now I'm senator. And one of the things that I do is they call on me to vote on whether or not to go to war. That's the hardest vote you ever cast, because as some of you have said, people are going to die. If you say, let's go to war, people are going to die, including some of your own people are going to die. No matter what you do, no matter how good you are, no matter whether you win or lose, people are going to die. And those people are brothers and sisters of, your people back here, my people back here, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters. And it's, think about the reality of this. War in the movies is pretty glorious. War in real life can be very sad, very hard. And so I've been called on several times. When we started, President Bush said he wanted to invade Iraq. I voted no. I was one of 23 senators who voted no out of 100 senators. When he said we want to start a war in Afghanistan to go after the people who attacked us on 9/11, I voted yes. I said, you can't attack the United States and kill innocent people and get away with it. We're going to go after you. Because tomorrow you'll do it again, and you'll keep doing it again, and we're not going to sit here quivering in fear. We're going to stand up for this country, and anybody who attacks us better be ready. We're coming after them. We just don't get away with it. Two wars in two places. Iraq, I vote no, because I didn't think there was a basis for it. Afghanistan, I vote yes, because of 9/11, and the fact that Al-Qaeda said this is just the beginning, there's more to come. And they've tried to make good on that promise. There was a man in Peoria going to college at Bradley who was arrested days after the 9/11 attack. And I heard about it as a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, and I couldn't believe it. Peoria? What are you talking about? Terrorists in Peoria? He ended up being in prison, being convicted, and he's now serving in the Marion Federal Penitentiary, a convicted terrorist right here in Peoria. So it isn't as if it's way over there on the other side of the world, but it's not on our side of the world. There are people that we've got to be sensitive to who do not have the best interests of us or the United States in mind, and we've got to be strong. I don't like war at all, but I know sometimes you just cannot avoid it. If I'd have been sitting next to Abraham Lincoln, I'd have said, you've got to keep this nation together. We've got to end slavery. We've got to fight these people who are trying to secede from the United States. I would have said that was the right thing to do, even though a lot of people disagree. And I did say it was the right thing to do in Afghanistan. But we shouldn't look at it as easy or casual. These are hard decisions. People die, and lives are changed forever because of war. And that's the reality of what we face. I'm glad you're thinking about it, because a lot of people don't think about it. They just think politicians are going to decide it one way or the other, and I'm stuck. But it's much different thing. So I'm glad you're thinking.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
All right. Good luck to y'all. See you.
Billy,